What if the biggest obstacle standing between you and the life you want isn't a lack of talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but a lack of direction? Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they spend years chasing distractions instead of a purpose. Without realizing it, they allow circumstances, opinions, and short-term pleasures to decide the course of their lives. Every small distraction pulls them a little farther away from the future they truly want. In this chapter, you'll discover why aimlessness is one of the most dangerous psychological traps, how scattered attention quietly steals your potential, and why clarity, discipline, and purpose are the real foundations of lasting success. Because the moment you stop drifting through life and start choosing your direction with intention, everything begins to change. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to move through life with quiet confidence, while others stay busy every single day, yet never feel as though they're truly moving forward? The difference is rarely intelligence, talent, or luck. More often it begins with something far less visible, a clear sense of direction. Most people never consciously choose the path they're walking. They simply follow the next opportunity, the next expectation, or the next distraction. One decision leads to another until years have passed, and they suddenly realize they've been living a life they never intentionally designed. This is how aimlessness quietly takes control. It doesn't announce itself through failure. It disguises itself as comfort, routine, and endless activity. You stay occupied, believing you're making progress, when in reality, you're only moving in circles. The greatest danger isn't wasting a single day. It's wasting years while convincing yourself that you're still on the right path. Ask yourself one honest question. If every outside expectation disappeared tomorrow, would you still be living the life you're living today? Most people hesitate before answering because deep down they already know the truth. A life without direction doesn't usually collapse overnight. It slowly drifts, pulled by other people's priorities instead of your own. And the moment you allow your future to be shaped by chance rather than purpose, an invisible force begins making your most important decisions for you. That force is momentum. Once your life starts moving in a certain direction, the mind naturally resists changing course. Familiar routines become comfortable even when they no longer serve you. You mistake consistency for progress and movement for meaning. This is why so many people wake up years later feeling trapped inside a life they never consciously chose. They didn't make one catastrophic decision. They made hundreds of small, unquestioned ones, each pulling them a little farther away from their true purpose. The modern world only amplifies this problem. Every notification, every trend, every opinion competes for your attention. Your focus becomes fragmented, and without realizing it, you begin living reactively instead of intentionally. Attention is the most valuable resource you possess. Wherever it goes, your future quietly follows. Highly successful people understand this principle. They don't say yes to every opportunity. They protect their attention because they know that every unnecessary distraction carries a hidden cost. Every moment spent chasing what doesn't matter is a moment stolen from what does. Aimlessness is rarely caused by a lack of ability. More often, it is the result of scattered attention and undefined priorities. And before you can discover the direction your life truly demands, you must first understand why your mind is so easily pulled away from it in the first place. The human mind is naturally drawn toward what feels immediate, exciting, and effortless. It craves novelty, quick rewards, and the comfort of avoiding uncertainty. A meaningful purpose, however, demands something very different. It requires patience, discipline, and the willingness to keep moving even when the results are invisible. This is where most people lose their way. They confuse temporary motivation with lasting commitment. They chase whatever feels exciting today, only to abandon it when the excitement fades. Soon another opportunity appears, then another and another. Their life becomes a collection of unfinished beginnings instead of meaningful achievements. Purpose is not discovered by constantly changing direction. It is revealed through consistent effort, in a direction that truly matters. Look at the people who create extraordinary work. They are not immune to distraction. They simply refuse to let distraction decide the course of their lives. They understand that every meaningful goal requires sacrificing countless attractive alternatives. Clarity grows through action, not endless thinking. Every intentional step teaches you something that hesitation never can. The greatest obstacle is rarely a lack of talent. It is the habit of dividing your energy among too many directions until none of them receives enough attention to grow. And once you recognize the true cost of a scattered life, one final question remains, a question that determines whether your future will be shaped by intention or by accident. What is worthy of your life's energy? Very few people ever answer that question with complete honesty. Instead, they allow circumstances to decide for them. They chase approval instead of purpose, comfort instead of growth, and short-term pleasure instead of long-term fulfillment. At first, the difference seems insignificant. Over time, it becomes the difference between a meaningful life and a distracted one. Purpose is not something you find overnight. It is something you build through deliberate choices repeated every single day. Every decision either strengthens your direction or weakens it. This is why discipline is far more valuable than motivation. Motivation rises and falls with emotion, but discipline continues long after the excitement has disappeared. It keeps you moving when progress feels slow and reminds you why you started in the first place. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are not always the most gifted. More often, they are the ones who refuse to abandon their path when distractions become more appealing than their purpose. The question is no longer whether you have potential. The real question is whether you are willing to protect that potential from everything that tries to steal it. Because the moment you make that commitment, your relationship with time, attention, and success begins to change forever. You no longer wake up wondering what life expects from you. Instead, you begin asking what your purpose demands from you. That single shift transforms the way you think, decide, and act. Every choice becomes intentional because it serves a direction greater than temporary comfort. This is the deeper lesson behind the law of aimlessness. A meaningful life is not created by chance. It is created through clarity, discipline, and the courage to remain committed when distractions promise an easier path. There will always be people chasing the next trend, the next opportunity, or the next shortcut. But those who leave a lasting impact understand that success is rarely the result of doing more. It is the result of doing what truly matters consistently for a long enough time. So ask yourself one final question. If your actions over the next 5 years remain exactly as they are today, where will they lead you? Your answer reveals more than your hopes. It reveals your direction. The future is never built in a single dramatic moment. It is built through the quiet decisions you repeat every day, especially when no one is watching. Choose those decisions wisely because your habits are writing the story your future will one day tell. And with that understanding, we are ready to explore the next law, one that reveals why even intelligent people often surrender their individuality to the influence of the crowd.